Hey guys, welcome back to the Stephen Jeung Show. Welcome back to the pod. Today we're going to talk about life insurance products. We're going to talk about one product that's super popular right now. It's called the Index Universal Life Policy. You see so many people on TikTok and Instagram talking about it. And I brought my partner, COO Mark Banks of the Jeung Agency to actually narrate this conversation and this pod. So Mark, off to you, buddy.
Thank you, Stephen. Man, I'm so glad we're doing these podcasts because, there's just so much information out there that, I wish I could cover it in every presentation that I do, but unfortunately, there's just, so much out there, and people have so many questions. I was talking to, my family member the other day, and they were just like, you can use life insurance while you're alive? It's just so foreign to people to think that there's other uses for life insurance outside of just you pass away and then money goes to your family. Today I wanted to talk about IULs because that's a product that a lot of people are fascinated with that know how insurance works. They think about topics like infinite banking. But a question that I get a lot, and maybe Stephen, you can give an answer for this. A lot of people are like, well, why would someone use an IUL to invest? Why would that be an option in terms of growing their money rather?
Okay, I would say that's true. Well, everyone likes to invest in the stock market, right? Because they see that's more value than putting the money in the bank in a CD or a savings bond or a treasury, right?
Right.
Okay, so pretty much the Index Universal Life Policy is a life insurance policy, yes, but there's different ways you can use it. You can fund it for extended period of time, 10, 15, 20 years, or as long as you want. A portion of that money will go for the cost of insurance, and a portion of those funds will go into the stock market, whatever indice that you choose. There's like probably 40 or 50 different indices that are out there. S&P is probably the most popular one. So you're putting this money into the market. It's not an investment. It's in an indice. Therefore, every single year, if the indice is positive, they will credit your account. If it's negative, you'll get no credit to your account. So in the Index Universal Life Policy, not like a variable account, like a stock account or a 401k who goes up and down, this is only credits. It's not going to credit every single year, only unless the market goes up every single year of that indice. And there's S&P, Dow Jones, Credit Suisse, BNP Paribas, Pacesetter, there's Barclays. I mean, there's so many different indices out there. So if I answer that question, does that make sense?
Oh yeah, I mean definitely. We kind of talked about some of the indices. I think that's another thing that people are concerned about is, you know, some people have an idea of what the S&P 500 is. Some people have an idea of what the Nasdaq is, but I think it would be helpful for people to kind of break down some of those indices and like what indice makes the most sense for you, in terms of risk tolerance and those types of things.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. You want to choose a professional that's been doing this for many, many years. I've been in the financial services since 1998, so it's been a long, long time to understand how these indices work and where the money goes to. So S&P 500 is the top 500 companies in America. Okay, that's the biggest, the most safest way. And they have Dow Jones, Dow 30 companies, and then you have the Nasdaq 100. The QQQ is the most popular one as well, which is the top 100, and then there's like the whole indice. And then there's like the BNP Paribas that invest in, Japan, Europe, United States. They do a strategy of balancing the portfolio on a daily basis, something that we would on us personally want to able to do, individuals want to be able to do, institutions can. You have the Pacesetter, you have Barclays. So there's all those different types of indices that you can choose from, and it's really, really important to choose the right one because that can make the difference between your account going from $100,000 to $500,000 or your account going from $100,000 to $250,000. It is a huge difference because a lot of these S&P strategies have caps. And when the IULs came out a while ago, even the fixed index annuities, they had caps, 8.5%, 9%, 9.25%, and they still do. So avoid IULs and fixed index annuities with a cap. If you're in a cap, get out of it, because you're limiting your upside. Because when the S&P, when the market rips 15, 20, 25%, you're not going to get those. You're going to only get like 9.5, whatever that is. On top of the second thing is the participation rate. 100% is 100 is par. If it's 200, you get two times of whatever the indice does. So if the indice does 10%, you're going to get 20% every single year. So the participation rate is very, very important. The indice is really, really important once you choose. And thirdly, is there a cap on the indice? So, and the crediting method are the things that I'm talking about, the details, and this is what I do for a living. And these things are very important. So if you have an IUL, I would, love to do a review, or if you or go back to your agent, and your agent's not willing to do a review with you, he probably got his commission, and then he's on to the next person. And I don't do that in terms of that. So that's something that, especially with fixed index annuities, it's really, really important that you're doing yearly reviews with your clients. If you're not doing a yearly review, they're not adding no value, then yeah, you might want to consider getting a review with us, jungagency.com, or someone else, another financial professional. Sorry, that was long-winded.
I mean, you kind of no, you're good. So you kind of touched on this. So we talked about. Well, let's stick with the positive. We'll get to the negative later. So, living benefits.
Yeah, that is
why are
huge.
they important?
That's huge.
What kind of living benefits are out there?
The thing about this life insurance policy, so let's just say, hey, you do an IUL, you put $500 a month or $1,000 a month, right? You want to fund this for 20 years. If you die in month 2 or month 3 or month 1 or whatever, the insurance company is going to pay out that death benefit. Okay, so you're saying, why should I put my money in a product if I can just put my $100 or like $500 or $1,000 a month into the stock market? If you pass away, $1,000 is what your family is getting. If you put $1,000 into an IUL, they might get a $500,000 or $1 million policy, depending upon how they structured it. Minimum death, max cash. That's another thing. A lot of people are not structuring the IUL correctly, and they're not maximizing cash value. So if it's a retirement play, cash tax-free play, you got to make sure you do minimum cash, max cash, minimum death benefit. And a lot of people are not doing that. They're just doing the standard, and they're not getting any value or any alpha with that. So, sorry, I digress. To your question was, sorry, what was your question? Got too excited.
We're talking about living.
Okay, sorry, living benefits. Okay, so yeah, if you die, you get that, obviously. If you're terminally ill, you'll get the face amount. Critical injury, you'll get paid out. Critical illness, you'll get paid out as well. So it's not just about you dying. If you're critically ill or critically injured, the life insurance policy will pay it out. So this is kind of like another disability play as well. A lot of people are spending a lot of money on disability insurance that they're never going to use. Go out and get an IUL with our carrier that I know that have the best living benefits. Alzheimer's rider now, which is insane because a lot of people are dealing with Alzheimer's. So you get that play as well. So that's kind of a little bonus to the policy with the tax-free appreciative growth, and that's really, really important. So like the living benefits, I really recently learned about this, and it's a huge play because if you get critically injured that you can't work, they'll pay out like 80 to 90% of the face amount, 48 months. And it could be, so I had a client of mine, I ran the numbers for her. It's going to be like $10,000 a month for 48 months. That's almost the whole face amount if they're critically injured. So injuries do happen. That's like the worst case scenario is like you unable to work and you still have bills to pay. If you die, it's like my wife will be taken care of. But if you don't die and you get hurt, how are you going to pay your bills? If you don't have disability insurance, which is very costly and very expensive, I know it's pre-tax and all that, but I think it's a scam, to be honest. It's not a scam, but there's better ways to get that through IUL because it comes with it.
Yeah, 100%. The one I really liked is the one with cancer diagnosis. So like even like level one cancer, they'll pay out, part of your death benefit up front. I mean, that to me is a huge benefit, and that's something that I think people should explore more in their policy and make sure that they have living benefits because, it, like I've experienced in my family and other people's stories. I mean, a lot of times people have to mortgage their house, remortgage their houses, and sell things off in order to pay for medical bills from a heart attack that didn't put you out, but now you have all these bills and these debts that you need to take care of. So it's great that they do that. But yeah, so my next question, which I hear a lot from clients, is why wouldn't they just get term insurance? Why not just get cheap term insurance with
No.
no,
Okay. Term insurance, I tell people, the IUL, if you're not going to keep it for a minimum of 10 years, you're wasting your money. If someone's advising you to go into an IUL less than 10 years, don't do business with them because that I don't think is right professionally to recommend someone into an IUL that's not going to keep it for a minimum. 10 years is like the break even point. 15 years, you start making some money. You'll start getting some appreciation. But a term policy is good. Term policies are cheap. We do term policies all the time. I think get insurance through your work first. That's the cheapest first, right? But go get a private insurance as well. But that term insurance is going to expire in 15, 20, or 30 years, and you're not going to have any type of insurance after that. So this IUL in concert with your term is perfect. I think you need both. I think it's not one or the other. I think you need both.
100%. So another thing that people talk about a lot, I see this on the internet all the time, is infinite banking or lifetime income from IULs.
Infinite banking, that's more of a whole life play, to be honest with you, because whole life has guaranteed payouts, structured payments. Um, so for the IUL, for infinite banking, in my personal opinion, can you do infinite banking with the IUL? But that's more of a whole life play because you're guaranteed 7-8%, and you're borrowing at 5, and then you pay yourself back. You take a loan. But one thing about the infinite banking is it's based upon whole life. It's not a IUL play because I think personally, I think the way it's structured, I think so the whole life will work better in that scenario. Like depending upon what the interest rates are like, but like right now they're probably pretty favorable with the rates so high currently right now as we tape this podcast.
Yeah, and then lifetime income. That's another big thing. So lifetime income benefit rider, which some companies carry, some other more than others.
Yeah, that's different. You can annuitize your plan. It's under a life insurance policy, cash value, and stuff like that. The thing about the universal policy, it's universal. The premiums you could stop paying or pay more or add more to your account if you get a bonus. So that's why it's called universal. It's called an index. What's the indice? It's invested in some type of index, and a universal, and then obviously it's a life policy. That's what IUL means. But yeah, you have that option if you have it. It's like kind of like a pension when you retire. I work with a lot of teachers or a lot of doctors, and when they retire, it's like you can do a lump sum of $2 million, or we can pay you $8,000 for the rest of your life, or you can do a joint survivor, what's going to pay you less. So if whoever passes away, it's going to be you get a little bit less because it's two members instead of one. So you have that option with that. A lot of my teachers do that with our fixed index annuities as well as you could do. I think you do it with IULs as well too. Yeah.
Okay. So then another thing that people ask a lot, and I mean, this is probably it's going to depend obviously, but when do you think is the best time to get an IUL, or is there a bad time to get an IUL? Age wise.
Age wise, like I said, you have to, or if it is a death benefit play, or are we talking cash accumulation play?
Well, I guess kind of talk about both.
Okay, if it's a, I think they work both ways. I think it's okay if it's a straight death benefit play. You choose the right indice and the right company, and the cost of insurance is reasonable. I think it could work for somebody who's, you know, 50s, early 60s. It gets pretty expensive, but it'll be cheaper than whole life. And what's the alternative? Whole life. Whole life is like pays to 120, it pays to 100, extremely expensive. So I think IULs is a good way, but you have to know some have like 15-year lapse. One second. Apologize, a lot of stuff going on right now. That's the automatic vacuum cleaner. Saves my life. But yeah, some have lapsed guarantee 10, 15 years. And I would say for cash accumulation, minimum break even's 10. You know, the longer the better. The cheaper it will be. The more cash accumulation you'll have, the younger you are. So, but you want to structure it the correct way, in a way in the sense that you're getting the max cash and minimum death benefit. And then at that point, that plays, you're exhausting all the cash value, taking loans against your policy, and you're not paying it back. It's not a taxable event because you're taking a loan from your asset, just like you're taking a loan from your house. And it's not a taxable event. So you don't pay any taxes on any of the appreciation that you've achieved because it's a loan.
Okay. Can anyone get an IUL?
Yeah, everyone can get. I mean, you have to be obviously have a green card or U.S. citizens. We have a foreign national program as well. If you're a foreign national, you spend I think 3 months of the year here, or have a business, or go to school here. I believe you can get a policy, an IUL. Another crazy thing is juvenile policies. You can take out policies on your kids and get that great cash accumulation, and then when they go to college, you can use that money for college, and that'll be all take a loan against your policy, and they'll be able, and you control. You're the owner of the policy, but the annuitant, the insured, will be your child. It's called juvenile policies, which I've been doing, which is amazing, a great play, where situations where a husband and wife, you know, the wife is younger and more healthy, you want to be here to be the insured. If it's a straight accumulation play, tax-free play, you want to insure her instead of him who's older, who might have some health issues. Rates for women are cheaper, and you're going to think it's going to be a better way, and she's going to be younger too as well. So every scenario is different, but that's something that being a financial professional, having consultation, breaking everything down, trying to find the best way where you can grow your accumulation, your tax-free earnings, and tax-free income for life if you choose to.
Okay. So I know you sold a lot of whole life in your past, and IULs as well. In your mind, when should someone choose one or over the other? You know, what scenarios would an IUL make more sense, and what scenarios would whole life make more sense?
It depends upon the risk tolerance, how savvy they are. Some people are adamant about whole life. I heard whole life. I've had a whole life policy. I just want another whole life policy. I'm not going to twist their arm to get them into something that they don't understand, that's foreign to them, that they're comfortable with. So they want whole life, but I just tell them that, well, the thing with the whole life, the policy will not lapse. It's going to be more, but it's never going to lapse. The IUL potentially can lapse if it doesn't perform, if you choose the wrong indice with the wrong cap. So IULs require a lot more a financial professional to really know and even have the carriers, because some of these brokers only have like 2 carriers. I'm like, that's ridiculous. Like, you're not really helping them. Well, maybe your general agent only has 2, or you're a rookie and you only have 2. But I mean, we have 70 carriers, so we're going to crunch the numbers and find the best one that has the best accumulation and the best living benefits, and that's kind of our job. So I guess it's based not to dodge the question, but it's based upon their situation, how comfortable they are, how much time do they have, how healthy they are. Those are the things that we take into consideration if we think an IUL is even right for you.
On the table. Yeah. No, I've definitely I've run into people where like I began to explain IOLs and they're just like TMI. I just want something. Like, I just want something that for sure I know that's going to pay out when the time does come. I just want this for final expenses.
That's fine,
Great,
yeah. For final
but
expenses, and they don't want to deal with anything, and you don't, they're not going to say, oh, the accumulation value. Yeah, if there's someone who just like very adamant what they want, we'll give them, we'll like present it, obviously, the benefits of an IUL, but if they want to go whole life, then we can go whole life. And that's kind of great about working with us that you can go whole life, you can go term, you can go anywhere. We really don't care. We're going to do what's best for the client, what they really want, opposed to us imposing on them what they should do because we're only limited to only one product or one company. So we're going to push that and force it down your throat. And that's what happens a lot of times. Like, why did you buy this product? That agent probably was only like appointed with like 2 companies, and that's the only thing he had to present and sell. And that's why he sold this to you. And it's your brother, or your uncle, or your cousin, or something. A lot of times, unfortunately.
no, 100%. So I mean, when you're shopping for IULs or you're scouting IULs to add to your portfolio, what are like the top 3 things that people should look for or that you look for when choosing, the company and the product?
Okay, first and
IUL product?
foremost is credit worthiness. I want to make sure they're A plus, A plus plus, A plus. Number 2, the indice is very important. The one that you choose, if there's a cap or not, that's the first thing I look at, and the participation rate as well is what I look at. And I run scenarios as well as the cost of insurance, accumulation, and structuring it. Do you have the power to structure it minimum death, max cash? A lot of IULs companies, they will not allow you to personally structure it that way. It's just boilerplate. It is what it is. And if you can't structure the deal, then I'm not working with you because it's just great for the general public, and I know it's not going to be great. I just know it.
Yeah.
So that's really
Okay.
important to know in those areas. Those are the things that I look
And
at.
and then conversely, what are some like signs like run away? What are some
There's
things
something
that would
okay, like a cap, S&P 500 cap, 8.5%, 8.25%, 9.25%. No, I'm walking away. I do not like, even though S&P is really popular, so the insurance company, it's really easy to push that narrative. Oh, they want the S&P 500. They don't want this global index balance strategy. Oh, they don't want the Pacer. They don't want the Barclay because they want brand name. And for the agent, it's easy for them to pitch that S&P 500. But no, dude, you have a cap. You don't want that indice. You want to do maybe the insurance agent or financial professional doesn't really know. I have confidence to do research on all the different indices and the participation rate too. I don't want a 100% participation rate with a cap of 9.25%. I rather do a global index that's going to give me 220% or a pace setter that's going to give me 200% with no cap. So I'm getting twice the participation with no cap. That's way better than a S&P 500 with a 9.5 or 10% cap. That will way outperform the S&P 500 because there's a lot of overlap. Because S&P 500, majority of the indices have the S&P 500 stocks in there anyway.
And what's your? I know your favorite, but what would you say your favorite indice is to use in your favorite strategy?
Tough. I like the BNP Paribas. They're great. They've outperformed true tested. I like the pace setter as well. Those are the ones I love right now. I mean, I'm always constantly looking for new ones. But those are the ones that have performed, outperformed S&P and down markets. Because diversification, obviously, not just U.S. stocks. When you're in the S&P 500, you're only getting American stocks. You're not getting Japan or Europe. And I feel like those companies' stocks are undervalued opposed to U.S. stocks, and the U.S. stocks are very, very rich. And I think that you're getting a discount investing abroad, and I think that there's going to be a reversal to the mean, and I feel like international at some point is going to outperform U.S. But it doesn't really matter because you have U.S. and you have international, so you're fine that way. You're diversified, and that's another thing. You need to make sure your index is diversified. If you throw all your money in U.S. and U.S. goes through a recession, and outside of the wall there's no recession, S&P takes a dump, but maybe the FTSE or the COC or the KOSPI or the Nikkei does well. So you want to make sure that you're in international markets too, not just S&P 500.
Okay. Now, yeah. So I mean, I know we've been using BNP pretty often as of late. Would you recommend a 1 year point to point or a 2 year point to point, and why?
That's good. IULs, they only do a 1 year strategy. They don't do 2 year strategies. Our carrier does a 2 year strategy, and the reason why I choose a 2 year strategy over a 1 year strategy is because they give you more participation rate. In the long run, they'll give you a better return on your market, on your money. So the strategy that I do is a 2 year strategy. They have the 1 year strategy, BNP, and they have a 2 year strategy. But 2 year strategy has more participation, and because of that, in the long run, you get a better return for your clients. So I choose the 2 year strategy on that one, opposed to the 1 year strategy. The carrier that we work with, they have both.
Okay.
They have S&P 1 year, 2 year, but you always get more alpha and more return on the 2 year. It's a little more aggressive, but I feel it's worth it, and it outperforms tried and true tested indice on the 2 year as well.
Okay. Another huge one. So this is something I've been running into a lot lately, and I've had some success showing people the brighter side of this, but a lot of people just are uneducated about it. 401ks versus IULs.
Fixed index annuities, you mean? Fixed FIAs. Fixed index annuities, you mean?
Well, no. IULs versus a 401k, like investing in an IUL for your retirement as opposed to a 401k.
Okay, I think you should, in my opinion, you should do both. I know that may be controversial. People are like, one or the other, right? Type of thing. It depends. If you want some tax relief, IUL is not going to give you any tax pre-tax write-offs. It's all after-tax money, but after-tax money means that when you pull that money out, take loans against that policy, it's not a taxable event. So that's huge. I think it's much better than a 401k, to be honest. So if I only have $500, if I have to choose one or the other, it's tough. But I think they both have value in it. But the only thing about the 401k account, it's going to be in a variable account, so you can lose money in that account. You could put in $22,000 a year, and your account be worth $16,000 the following year. Even though you put $22,000 of pre-tax money, it can be less. And a lot of people are experiencing that right now. Majority of the people who put their money in last year lost money last year with the market, and they got their values less than it was what they put into the account.
And you talk about this all the time. If you go down 30 points, you got to go back up 60.
Yeah, it's brutal. When you go down
lost.
20% or 30% in the market, it's going to take you forever to get your money back. If you look back in 89, I was a broker, started financial advising back in 98. Like when the market crashed in 01 or 99, 01, I mean, it went down tremendously. It took like 6 years, I think 4 or 5 years to recover. It takes a long time. So I tell people, I was on a call with a client today. I was like, are you okay losing 20% of your portfolio this year? Because that is a real reality. Can your account go for 200,000, to 160? Are you able to risk that losing 20%? Because you lost money last year. Are you okay losing another 20% this year? If the answer is no, then put it into a fixed index annuity where your money is guaranteed and you will get credited, depending upon the carrier, you will get credited between 5 and 10% on your money, and then that money will go into the market in an index, and if the index does well, you'll be credited. If it doesn't do well, you won't get credited for that year. So you won't be penalized for the downside, only upside. It's an interest crediting model. It's not a variable product.
Yeah. Another thing that comes to mind is early withdrawals. So, like, if you have an IUL or you have an annuity, you don't have to wait to a particular age to
Yeah.
withdraw money.
Yeah, that's the problem with the 401k. It's that you have very limitations of pulling the money out. Since they're giving you all these tax benefits per se, you're locked in. It's not free. You can't pull the money out. You're going to pay 10% penalty on anything.
30%. Yeah.
10% on the you're going to pay 10% to the state for whatever money you pulled out, and then you're going to pay ordinary income on top of that. You pay ordinary income on top of that. So hypothetically, your account's 300,000. You need $50,000. You're 55 years of age. You know, if it's not a event, you just need money. You're hurting. It's a recession. You know, I think maybe they have a. But yeah, you're gonna pay a surrender charge, 10% to the government, and then you're gonna be ordinary income unless it's a event,
Yeah.
qualifying event. So with the IUL, if you had it for 15, 20 years, like I need 50,000 or I need $100,000, I want to buy a house. That money's yours. You can pull it out. It's completely 100% liquid. So liquidity, I think the IUL is really, really good with the liquidity of that.
Yeah.
But it's going to take time, like I said, for it to grow. Some people say, if I put it in like right now, like next year, what's going to be worth? I'm like, no, it doesn't work that way. It just has to mature. You have to let it grow and let it compound.
Yeah. That's kind of my next question, because I get that all the time. You know, people like sign up for this and they're so used to just like quick
Instant,
money.
yeah.
Like, you know,
Gratification,
they
yeah.
they want to invest in that stock that tomorrow is going to give them 10x of their money, but you know, that's just not reality. So when should people expect to see
I would
a
say
decent
the break-even
return?
point is probably, I'll be honest, because the cost of insurance in the first 10 years is a lot. So after 10 years, you'll start seeing it really, really explode, explosive growth after 10 years. 15, it just starts to grow exponentially after those years. So I wouldn't even, if you're needing money right away, this is not the play for you. This is not, yeah. If you need money soon,
Yeah.
you need to be 100% liquid. Um, yeah, this IUL is not the play for you. And I tell people a lot of times, you know, people are like, oh, sign up for IUL. A lot of people are signing up for IULs and they're regretting it because the professional didn't explain to them, like, you can't touch this for 10 years minimal. You can pull it out earlier, but you're not going to see the true value of the product until later.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably like the my biggest fear is signing someone up for that in like year 1 or year 2. They're like, all right, man, so how much can I borrow now? And it's like
Yeah,
you
so
just got into this product.
they have to take consideration the risk that if you pass away, that we got to pay out like $500,000. Like that has to be in the
Right.
modeling, because insurance companies would be out of business if they just said, "Oh, you put in 6,000, market at 10%, my account should be worth, 6,600 because we did 10%. Why isn't my account not, 6,600? I put 500 a month, 6,000. It should be worth now the market at 10%, and I should have Why is my cash value this?" It doesn't work that way. The cost of insurance is part of the play. And that's another thing. A MEC, modified endowment contract, there's a limitation of how much you can put into the contract, because a lot of wealthy people were using this as a tax shelter, throwing hundreds of millions of dollars into these IULs. The government cracked down on that. So you have to make sure that you're not triggering a MEC. So that's another thing. Your professional has to know about that. Is this triggering a MEC or not? Because you could put yourself
Yes.
and lose all the
Yes.
tax-free benefits of this policy if it's a MEC and pay taxes. That's another thing. So IUL is just buying it from anywhere. That's like Russian roulette. Just buying it for anybody who you saw Instagram ad and, oh my God, like this guy just pushed this on me and S&P 500 and I don't know. And yeah, it's a great thing. It's the most popular thing right now. It's like the tax hack, infinite banking now. It's the IUL now, but you got to make sure you deal with a professional that's been doing this for at least, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 years. I'm like a unicorn. There's so many people who've been in the industry for 25 years. I mean, it's just, and it's just not. So, and that's why I'm really passionate about sitting down with people and educating them about what's different about Jeung Agency, what we're about, and what kind of knowledge and experience that we're providing for them. And that's another thing, guys. If you're interested in having a one-on-one with me or Mark, we definitely want to help people. Go to jungagency.com, JEUNG agency.com, and then click learn more. You can look around on the website and definitely learn more, and then you can reach out to us and we can set up a call with you and break down your life insurance policy, your 401k. We're a financial planning service. Life insurance is a portion we do. We do wealth management, estate planning, retirement planning, all those things. And businesses. Mark's doing the healthcare, running the healthcare side of us, supplemental health. So we're doing everything here. Working with business owners with retirement plans as well too. And the new law too with Cal Savers, California, you have to have a retirement plan if you have 5 or more employees.
Oh, I'm
which
so
is
glad
crazy.
you brought that up. Yes. So let's talk a little bit about that. That's a huge thing. So now a lot of states are moving. Not just California. There's a lot of states that are moving towards requiring employers to provide some type of permanent life insurance,
Or retirement plan.
or retirement plan,
Yeah.
and now even long-term care.
Wow.
State of Washington is now requiring that, and other states are set to add that to the bill very soon. So, that's a huge area that so IULs are going to explode very soon. Long-term care is going to explode very soon because it's going to be mandated. It's going to be like car insurance, where it's like if you have an employer, you're employed. Your employer has to provide that if you have a certain number of employees. So
Yeah. So let's talk about that a little bit. Let's pivot here, guys. Let's talk about retirement plans for small business owners. Per the law, if you have 5 or more employees, you are responsible for providing a retirement plan in the state of California. So let's talk about California, but other states are going to follow. I think we are the states that start stuff, and then everyone else kind of follows eventually, good or bad. So if you have 5 or more employees, the state of California has a plan through Cal Savers. Okay? The thing is, Cal Savers is like a Roth IRA. There's limitations in the Roth IRA, right? Income restrictions. You can only put away $6,000 a year, I believe. So there's a lot of restrictions. It's not a 401k. So I talked to the people, my partner's a principal, and saying that there's a lot of problems with the Cal Savers plan. It's a California state plan, and very limited with the funds. But yeah, and a lot of the business owners are unable to qualify to participate in their own plan because they make too much money. So if you own a business in California with 5 or more employees, definitely reach out to me, and I can help you put a 401k plan in place or set you up with the Index Universal Life policy that's going to generate some cash value. That's going to be much better than the Cal Savers plan. Cal Savers plan has a lot of problems. First and foremost, limitation of contributions. On top of that, you cannot take loans against your policy through a Roth IRA. Only through 401ks you can take loans out. And we have affordable programs for small businesses, small to medium to large. So yeah, that's kind of the issue with Cal Savers right now. You'll be fined eventually. A lot of business when I'm speaking with, they're not doing anything. They're waiting to get fined. Once they get fined, they'll do something. Unfortunately, but that's going to be a thing that they're going to have to do, and that's going to be a huge need. And that's why we have these podcasts to educate people about. If you own a small business in California, you're required to have a retirement plan for your employees. And if you don't, the default would be Cal Savers, which is a Roth IRA with limited contribution and limited restriction on your income. You might not. Majority of people, the owners, don't even qualify for their own retirement plan that they have to provide by law, which is crazy. So
but it is what it is. The law is what it is. So I mean, all we can do is prepare for it and be informed and know how to move forward with that. So yeah, I mean, people should definitely set up a call with us, and we can review their options, because that's what we're all about. I mean, we're not going to push one product or one company on you. It's really just doing the due diligence of researching and seeing, because everyone's different. There's certain career fields and certain things that you can get certain benefits and discounts and things like that. It's yeah, it pays to work with a financial professional or someone who's a broker.
Who's working with businesses, who understand
Yeah.
businesses, and that's what we do. I think Jeung Agency, we do everything in terms of working with small businesses, retirement plans, healthcare plans. Um, you know, I think we have a very broad offering, which is great. There's nothing we really don't do. We sit down with somebody who's a business owner. We're going to help with your employees. We're going to help with your health insurance, potentially save you some money, and then we're going to help you with your retirement plan as well. And personally, we can help you as well as your employees. I take great joy helping these people that are starting off. They're young. It's like, hey, let's sit down and talk. A lot of them are like embarrassed, like I don't make a lot of money. I'm like, oh, it's okay. Put away $50 a month, man. Just do something, have something, get in place. Everyone starts somewhere. It's not a big deal. And I love helping those $50 policies. Then sometimes those $5,000 policies that we deal with.
Yeah, I mean, people are grateful that someone's taking the time to explain it to them, because a lot of people they weren't set up for it, and they didn't learn it. But now that they're getting exposed to that information, they can prepare, and then that's gonna help the next generation and the next generation, and that's what it's about.
Yeah, and that's why I love TikTok. I'm on TikTok, guys. You want to follow us on TikTok? You can. Stephen Jeung on TikTok as well as Instagram. Mark as well. Mark has a following as well too on TikTok. But yeah, that's why a lot of people are all scrolling like infinite banking, IUL. That's what people are starting to. It's in the ether now. People are talking about it now, and people actually know what IUL is now. When you say it, you're like, interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting how many people have heard of IULs now. I mean, when I first started in the industry, it was like taboo. Like everyone was like,
yeah,
"Whoa,
it was,
dude!"
yeah.
Like,
It was a bad product back then. It was those products were
yeah,
terrible. And if you have an old IUL, guys, definitely get it reviewed. If you have an old whole life policy, old universal policy, like my friend made a best analogy. The phones that came out in 2016 and 17 were cool and great, but they're not like the phones today. The insurance industry has evolved. The products have evolved as well. So definitely get a review. You can reach out to us, Jeung agency.com, and set up a call with us, learn more about it. I love doing reviews, and we have partners that will review the policy and look at everything, every angle, and see that we can see value in that product. That there's a lot more better products now currently.
yep, 100%.
All right, so guys, thank you. Hope you guys appreciated that, guys. Again, Mark Banks, COO of the Jeung Agency. My name is Stephen Jeung, CEO and founder of the Jeung Agency. Thank you for joining the Stephen Jeung Show, this podcast. Do me a huge favor, like this video, subscribe, follow, share this video. I think this is valuable information to know what's going on in the market. I think we're giving you an in-depth, taking the veil off and showing you this industry and being transparent about it. A lot of insurance agents are going to probably get pissed off that I'm talking about people getting commission one time and then taking the option one and not caring about their clients again, which I don't do if it's a variable product. So if it's a product that's in the market. So, all right, guys, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Peace.